it, boss?
Hello. Today we're doing something big, something dumb, something orky. We're painting my Stompa. This is Trashmash, the junk titan. I made him out of garbage. Old toys, recyclable materials, packaging stuff. There's not a lick of Games Workshop plastic in him, except his skeleton. We'll get to that. Now, earlier this year, there was a period of time when I was sick. I was stuck in my bedroom with nothing but my Nintendo Switch and my bookshelf and my laptop and my... okay, I wasn't in prison or anything. I had time. I had time off. That's the point. I wanted to do something really funny and silly with my trash bashing. As you might have been able to tell from my previous videos, I'm a big fan of Warhammer. And I don't just mean the podcast with the banging intro music. So I got to work, and over about a month or so, I'd made my Stompa. He's probably about 2/3 hot glue and 1/3 random creative impulses at 11 PM. I didn't take any videos of making the Stompa, but I did take a whole bunch of photos of each step, so please enjoy this slideshow. So that's how I turned various kinds of garbage into this singular kind of garbage. I think it's about time he has a paint job. Normally I love unpainted Warhammer. Seeing all the different materials and making it so obvious what it once was has a really charming, motley aesthetic to me. I love his tuna can head, I love his Pringles pauldrons, I love his electrolyte def cannon. But I think something as large and silly as this deserves a lick of paint. So let's get to it. Let's start by priming him. Why don't you, follow me to the kitchen for this one?
Hello, and welcome to Crumpin' Kitchen, the orkiest cooking show on the internet. Today, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a delicious slow-primed Stompa, just in time for the holidays. Now this is a lovely thing to share with the whole family, or maybe just to make for yourself, as a naughty little treat. Let's begin. Fill a large pot with about 6 cups of water. Then take your Stompa. I've got a homemade one here, but a store-bought Stompa will work just fine for this recipe as well. Add your Stompa to the pot. Turn the heat up to medium-high, and bring it all to a rolling boil. This will usually take about 15 or 20 minutes. Next, take a primer of your choice of colour. Many recipes will ask you to shake your primer well before you use it, but not this one. We're just going to take our primer and add it directly to the pot with the Stompa. Add it directly to the pot with the Stompa. Add it to the pot. Why isn't it going in the pot? Why did you get it? Once you've added your primer to the pot, we'll just allow it all to simmer for about another 15-20 minutes. Don't forget to occasionally stir your Stompa. This will stop anything from sticking to the bottom of the pot and burning, and it will also help you get a nice, smooth coverage over the flat surfaces with the primer. And after another 20 minutes or so, our Stompa is finished. Beautifully slow primed across all its surfaces, with primer right into all those scrumptious little recesses. Doesn't that just look delectable? All that's left to do is plate your Stompa, serve at room temperature, and enjoy.
Anyway, let's paint it.
To paint Trashmash today, we're not going to be using any miniature paints like Citadel or Viejo brands. We're just going to be using these cheap acrylics you can get at the dollar store. Now that does mean we'll probably have some pretty gnarly brush strokes and some uneven coverage, but it seems par for the course for a trash patch like this. Let's get stuck in!
Who's got 2 thumbs and remembered to film in landscape this time? This guy!
We're going to start by dry brushing the entire Stompa silver. That's going to help give everything a look of weathered, battered metal. It's also going to bring a lot of texture to the surface, and it'll help us with base coating silver areas later. For now, we're just going to hit the whole dang thing with this dry brush.
He's nice and shiny now. Kind of.
Taking a smaller brush and loading up on our silver paint, we're going to start picking out areas that are just going to be flat silver. Things like the mega chopper, the guns, and the arms. Now the coverage of this isn't great, but it gives it a really trashy kind of oily look. I really dig it. Let's also hit these areas that are going to be copper later. Looking pretty good after that first step. Let's get some more colors on there. Starting with our copper, brass, bronze, whatever. We're going to mix silver, brown and red together until we have a decent stand-in for Balthazar Gold. This gets slopped all over the engine. The smokestacks. The Mech Boy symbol on the back banner. And a few panels on the hull, just to break up the colours. Mixing colours again, this time yellow, brown, and way more white than is shown here, to make this bright ivory colour, kinda like Viejo's Pale Sand. Now this just goes on the horns. I'm glad we have such a bright colour for these. The horns are such an iconic part of the Stompa to me, so let's get him popping. This red paint looks like it might be a little transparent, so I'm adding a bit of black to darken it down and maybe help it stay a bit more opaque and, that's really bad. Okay. Let's add some more red and see if we can salvage this. No. No, that is not salvage. If anything, that's even worse. Okay, even more red paint. Surely this'll work. And our end result is a beautiful, disgusting, dull, greyish pink? What the heck is this? This is horrendous. Well, we've got lots of it, so we might as well try to use some. Does it cover these panels any better than the original red? No. No, it doesn't. It's awful. It's awful, and it's really bad, and it's even worse than the original red, but the color is even worse this time, and it's terrible, and I don't know what we're meant to... At least we can use some of it to base coat the back of the Goth's emblem on his back. Hopefully we can touch this up with something less disgusting later. This black certainly isn't disgusting. It's doing pretty well. I mean, you'd hope so. It's black paint over black primer. But what about the white? Fingers crossed, and... Huh.
Hey, that's pretty good.
I mean, it's no Pro Acryl Bold Titanium White, but it's doing the job okay. I dig it.
Progress shot before I leave for university. Yeah, he's looking fine. Figuring out how to do the red is going to be pretty miserable, but the black and the white give me hope. At least while they're still drying like this. I think it's going to turn out okay.
I've been chipping away at this thing for almost 2 weeks now. Let's get this Stompa done today! I'm starting with white and coming back in over the big skull glyph on the front. Let's throw this white on the faceplate and the jaw as well. Kinda makes him look like a member of KISS. The stark white paint against the black. It's a cool look. Let's also throw it around the edges of this Goth symbol in preparation for some checks. Speaking of checks, let's hit these pauldrons with it as well. Wouldn't be a Goth's model without a distasteful amount of free-handed checks, now would it? Alright, looks like there's no getting around it. Rise and grind, gamers, let's get this red. Luckily, there aren't many areas we actually need to hit with red. There's the fuel tank on the Scorcher. There's the heads of all these super rockets. It could be worse. And there's the background of the Goth symbol as well. This is much nicer. It's giving it some vibrancy. We can tidy this up later. But what about those red panels on the hull? I'm just gonna paint them white. It matches with the rest of the colors better, it's a lot punchier, the coverage is better. You know, it's like the old adage goes. If at first you don't succeed, paint it white instead. While I'm down here on the hull, I'm going to take black and darken down a few panels back to a flat black, just to mix up the coloration a bit. I'm also going to use black to tidy up some edges, while my brushwork has been maybe a little too orky. By tidying up now, it means we don't have to do as much cleanup work at the end later, and we are trying to get him done today. While black's still on the palette, I'm going to hit the panels behind and around the skullcliff just to help the white pop even more. And finally, it's time for the checks. Checks are such a cool part of the Orks aesthetic to me. When I saw them on the Combat Patrol box, oh man, life-changing. Let's block out a rough grid, and I do mean rough. Then choose somewhere to start, and fill out alternating squares with black. And after putting some checks on the symbol on the back and doing a little more tidy up, I think we're done. Ta-da! Trashbash, the Junk Titan is all painted up. Is it a very clean paint job? Absolutely not. This is shabby as all hell. But I love it. I like the stark white and the trashy silvers. I really like how he's come together. We're not winning any golden demons with this, but it'll certainly look striking on a tabletop. Until now, this beast boss on Squigosaur was my largest painted model, which the Stompa just dwarfs. Not to mention that it absolutely towers over your average orc boys.
Shock me! That's big!
No, it's almost surreal seeing him all painted up like this. He spent half a year sitting on my shelf as just a massive cardboard and pin, and now he almost looks real. Almost. Thank you for watching today's extra silly video. You may notice that I'm going to be uploading more shorts throughout Orktober. I'd love to keep making more videos, but between work and university I'm unfortunately very busy this month. I do have 2 more big ones planned to come out soon though. This was just part 1 of the Stompa Trilogy. So stay tuned, I'll see you for more orkiness real soon. Happy October!
Sod off!